Hi, Bill Doherty of the Doherty Relationship Institute, and I want to talk about one of my favorite topics. As therapists, we are compassionate, we are sensitive to people's vulnerability, their fragilities when they come to us for therapy. When they come as a couple and somebody is more vulnerable, more fragile, seemingly than the other, they've been cheated on, they've had a death in the family, maybe they have some mental illness that they've been dealing with for some time. So it's not uncommon for somebody at least to present with more vulnerability and fragility. As therapists, a lot of us are trained in individual therapy first, or certainly we see a lot of individuals. So there's a potential trap here in working with couples that we gravitate towards. We attend disproportionately to the suffering, the fragility, the vulnerability of the person who is presenting that more than to the other person. And we can then actually create a risk and a vulnerability for the three-way system that is the couple and me. So my working assumption is that if people got their act together to come to see me as a couple, and somebody is not, actively impaired so that they're not able to function in their everyday life, that's a different thing, or that there is active abuse going on. I mean, there are situations in which you have to proactively be more protective of one person, but that's not the majority of these situations. I'm going to assume some resilience on the part of the person with those vulnerabilities. I'm going to assume that their spouse probably has a bunch of vulnerabilities not showing me in the same way, maybe because of their interaction patterns. So I'm going to make sure that I spread out my empathy, my concern, my alliance building with both people so that we do not have a fragile, vulnerable therapeutic system that isn't going to take off. And so that's the dance here. The dance is to attend to people just as they are, and of course show support and compassion for somebody, but not get pulled, not get tilted, so that it starts to look like individual therapy for one person, and the other, of course, is the less vulnerable person, or maybe the evildoer who created their problem. And then we have in my over-attending to the fragility and perhaps under-attending to the resilience of this person, then I neglect to create a healthy, balanced therapy system with the three of us. It's a really big temptation. And I urge you to reflect on it and do what I do and try to avoid the tilt so that we get started in a good, healthy way.